Well, looks like we just had a an error connecting there. Did you get that too? Or was that just me?
Yep, me too.
Okay, just want to make sure I'm not the only one.
Yeah, it's sometimes a problem at tournaments. Like no matter who it is, if somebody doesn't load it,
Yeah,
they
sometimes it can
can't connect.
happen from spectators too.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Is it
Yeah.
letting you join a broadcast channel?
You should be in those, so just don't mess with them. It's just
Okay.
it's just a bug. Like when you join lobbies, this is the same thing that it looks like usually. See, and over time,
Okay.
mine
Yeah.
just
All right.
updated at least.
Yep. Yeah, it's fixed for me as well.
Cool. All right. Well, now that we're here waiting for the games to start, do you want to talk about RD2L? For those who weren't here last time we did this, when's the last one? 3 months ago or something?
Yeah, around that 3-4 months ago, I believe was the
Okay.
last time we had the grand finals. So yeah, so RD2L it's a community league. It's a player draft league, which means that anyone can sign up. You can sign up as a player, you can sign up as a captain, and it basically lasts 8 weeks. It's a BO2 group stage, and then after that, it proceeds to the actual playoffs, which have been about 5 weeks these past few times. So about total 12 to 13 week time committal. But yeah, basically, the great thing about the league is that anyone can sign up and play that wants to essentially get a bit more of a competitive environment, but you're not at an MMR or maybe a skill level where those opportunities would be available because like I said, anyone can join. So you can come in here and you can play organized matches on a weekly schedule and have that environment where you're part of a cohesive team. You have a captain, you come up with strategies, you scrim, that kind of thing. And I feel like for a lot of people, if you're not at the upper tiers of Dota skill, it can be a little bit difficult to come across opportunities like that unless you're queuing captain's mode all the time or something. But yeah, it's just kind of a great way to get together with other like-minded players, make some friends, and like I said, have a semi-competitive environment that's still it's casual enough to be fun and not stressful, but at the same time, it'll really test your skill as a player essentially.
That's great. Yeah, I had a lot of fun casting last time. Like you said, the skill level is kind of spread out on each
Mhm.
team, so it is still playable for everybody. So if you guys are looking for a league to play in, feel free to sign up for next season. Do you have a Twitter, by the way?
I do. It's at Subject Dota.
I probably could have guessed that.
I try to keep it consistent, except for when something's taken. But yeah, if people are wondering when signups close, just want to throw that in there. They're not closed already. They close in about 3 days, Wednesday at midnight. If you want to sign up, we have several divisions. We have EST Monday and Sunday. Those are both played at 9 p.m. on their respective days. We also have a West Coast division for people that are on the West Coast and don't want to deal with ping, and I believe that starts at 7 p.m. PST, so it would be 10, I believe, EST. I guess we're still having a lobby
Okay.
connection issue. And yeah, also for EU boys, you're not left out either. They do have their own division. They play their own regular season, their own playoffs. And if you want more information about the league, you can also go to rd2l.gg. That is their official website. And they also have a subreddit, which is Reddit Dota 2 League, if I'm not mistaken. And from there, you can get information about the league. You can also get a link to the Discord, which all the Discords are, they have the general one, which is I believe also the Monday. They have of course their PST Discord, and of course the EST Sunday, which is where I'm usually hanging out. But they're active Discords. It's not just whenever it's game night is the only time people are playing, but you can go in there and just chat it up with people. Sometimes there's in houses as well, so there's always something to do.
Cool. I must say, after last time, I was definitely interested in playing hypothetically, but I just don't have the time, unfortunately. But
Yeah, it can be a little bit of a time committal. It's not too hardcore, I wouldn't say. It's usually, I mean, the good thing is it is played on a set day. For example,
mhm.
if you're EST Sunday, you're always going to play Sunday 9 p.m. unless both teams agree and you want to schedule it on a separate day. But for the most part, everything is played on its set schedule, which makes it really easy, I guess, to make time if you have the ability to. And it's not the most hardcore thing for scrimming. You're not scrimming 5 days a week or anything. You can sometimes. I've been on a team where it's one casual scrim a week. Some teams take it more seriously, but since it's a team thing, I mean it's kind of just up to everyone to decide.
Hmm. What was the website again? To sign up if people are interested.
The website is rd2l.gg for anyone interested for more
Sign up
information. Like I
for.
said, there's also the subreddit, which is Reddit Dota 2 League, and you can find all the information there as well as links to the discords for the different divisions.
I had a lot of trouble remembering how to write the word sign. It's like one of those like weird words where the letters are a little bit bizarre sometimes, and you
Yeah.
don't think about it for like years, and then I was trying to type SINE or something like that. I don't know. Shit was
Let's see.
rough.
There's also a big change that's happening this season that hasn't happened as long as I've played. I've been around for about 4 seasons now. I didn't have time to play the season, but I still stuck around as a content creator, so weekly casts, etc. I like to just hang around the league. I like the players. I have friends here, but basically this season we are experimenting with 5 player teams. I believe last time, I don't know if I explained it to you, but it was six player teams.
Yeah, I remember that because the players swapped a little bit every game, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So basically, it was 6 player teams, and it was guaranteed that every player would get to play every week. So the sixth pick and the fifth pick would swap in between games unless one of them was unavailable or something.
Mm-hmm.
But this season, they're actually experimenting with 5-man teams, which I'm really excited about. I'm actually rejoining the season, and that's also a big part of it because I feel like 5-player teams, it lets you have more of a team. Nobody ever feels like that bench warmer. Even if
Mm-hmm.
you got to play, it's still like, oh, I'm the swap out player. I only get to play 1 game a week. But now that it's 5-man teams, I think that's pretty exciting. It'll make it a little bit more of a competitive environment.
So I assume you guys did 6-man teams originally because the idea was that you would have casual matches, kind of, and that if somebody couldn't make it, it wouldn't like prevent the whole
Exactly.
team
Yeah.
from scrimming, right?
Yeah. Basically, I mean, that is something that it's going to have some growing pains, I'm sure. For example, if a player can't make it, you don't have that backup player, but there's usually a pretty good reserve amount of stand-ins or free agents. For example, if a player leaves a team, there's you can always sign up as a free agent, I believe, at almost any point during the league. So if somebody loses a player, you can take
Mm.
their spot. Stand-ins are it's based basically on the MMR of the player they're replacing. So say you're missing somebody that's, I don't know, Ancient 3. It will, as long as you find somebody Ancient 3 or below that was Ancient 3 or below, you can get a stand-in. So I don't think there's going to be too many issues. And like I said, I just feel like playing as a 5-man unit is a really cool thing.
Yeah.
That's a big change. Although that does cause a need for captains, since now we need more captains, since each team is comprised of 5 people instead of 6 people. So if you're interested in captaining, be sure to go check out the website and join the Discord for more information. We can always use more captains.
Somebody in chat asking how they divide the teams. How is
Well, the
that
teams, the
determined?
way the draft works, basically every team is going to end up with a relatively even spread. Like you mentioned last time, there's going to be an immortal player, then you're going to have all the way down to, what's one of the lower badges. I
Archon
can't
or
see the
something.
badge. Yeah, something, not often are they super, super low, but yeah, like Archon, um, because of the way the draft works. So if you draft a very high MMR player in your first pick and you are a high MMR player, then your next pick is going to be lower MMR. So basically the way it works is every team is going to end up with a relatively even amount of spread. There's always going to be people that are like, oh, that's a rigged team or a rigged division or something, but it just depends on who signs up. And for the most part, it is for fun. So nobody puts too much weight in that, I'm sure. But yeah, basically that's how it works. It's because of the draft, the way that the drafting system is set up, that every team is going to end up with a generally equal spread of MMRs. It's going to average out to be pretty similar.
That's cool. For the broadcast today, we got a best of 3 coming.
Yep.
Any special rules or anything like last time? Because you said we're doing 5-man teams next time. Are we doing swaps during?
Yeah, there should
tournament?
be player swaps. Yeah, this is still season 16, so we are still going off season 16 rules, which were 6-man teams. So we will have players swapped in, unless somebody can't make it, of course. Then there's always exceptions. They're not just going to disqualify someone because their 6th player couldn't make it in for the swap. But yeah, they're just a regular BO3, no special rules as far as I'm aware.
Okay. Last time I know we talked about meta-wise stuff. It was very like, it wasn't necessarily top tier meta. It was more like what players are comfortable with.
Yep.
With a little bit of meta stuff. Would you say it's pretty similar still?
Yeah, I would say so. That's another interesting thing about RD2L. I feel like it challenges you as a drafter, if you're like the drafter, because not the captain isn't always the drafter. In fact, we can see an example of that right now that we're in the lobby. Dark is actually the captain of this team. This is Dark from EST Sunday right now versus Ultra Gunner of PST Sunday. So, but as you can see, Dark isn't actually the drafter; it's Punani. So, it's definitely a bit of a challenge as a drafter because you can't always stick to the top tier meta. You have to accommodate comfort picks and what your players can play and execute on. So it's not going to be this super stale, pro meta where it's the same heroes pick banned every game. You're going to see a lot of respect bans, players that are notable for certain heroes. We're going to see some of that, I'm sure, this game coming up right now. But yeah, it always develops its own little meta within RD2L.
Hmm. That's really cool. What can you tell me about these two teams so far?
Well, these two teams are actually pretty strongly matched. I think they're pretty evenly matched. PST Sunday this season, I think they got a little bit shafted. Basically, they didn't have the strongest teams, but Ultra Gunner really stood out. The last time I saw them play, Ultra Gunner's team was basically up against, I think, all of the other 16 or 5 teams that were remaining when they were in the last 2 weeks were all EST Sunday, I believe,
Okay.
and they managed to outlast them all to make it here.
Okay.
And, they look pretty strong. So these guys are like the lone PST, representatives, and Dark's team just ended up on top of the EST Sunday pack.
So are any of the players in this in the finals here? Did they make it to finals last time, or is it all new players?
Yeah, actually, I don't think I believe Blackout is not in yet. Let me see. I was double checking this information. I know that Dark won RD2L 2 seasons ago. In the I was casting that grand finals too. It was Dark's team. So that was Dark and JMLV, I believe, were on that winning team.
Okay.
Um,
Cool.
and then, but a lot of these players are long time RD2L players. I know Ultra Gunner's been playing since like season 6, and Dark, I believe when he joined, he was a pretty low MMR, and now he's arguably the best mid laner in RD2L.
Wow.
He is very good at RD2L. So there's a lot of people that have stuck around that have kind of humble beginning stories that are now have gotten significantly better
That's
while
really cool.
being in the league.
And
Yeah, it's
normally
pretty cool.
normally you don't get that kind of build up story too because nobody has eyeballs on them when they're still bad.
Exactly.
But the fact that they were able to be bad at earlier seasons and get better makes that a much cooler, more interesting story. Maybe if he goes pro someday, then everyone can talk
This
about
is where he started. Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
Well, I believe Moo used to play RD2L.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Moo, and I think Lyrical used to cast in RD2L, if I'm not mistaken.
I can see that.
So there have been some breakout people. But yeah, this is another thing is Ultra Gunner is a very strong mid though, so I'm excited to see this match up. I think there's a bit of a rivalry there. I believe they're both ranked immortals. I think Dark is currently around 600 or so, or no, he's at 800, and Ultra Gunner is around the 600s. So
Okay.
pretty evenly matched. That's not a whole lot of MMR difference between the two.
Yeah, probably less than like 100 or 200 or something like that.
Yeah, maybe
so.
4 or 5 games or so. But about the draft now that we're a little bit in the draft, I was going to mention an interesting statistic about both of these teams. I did not think either of these teams were letting Slardar through. Both of these teams have, I think, like an identical Slardar win rate, 85.71
Jeez.
win rate. Both of the teams across same amount of picks too.
Do they play weird or anything like that, or is it just typical like Slardar as a 3-position lane dominator into ganking stuff?
I think they're just very I think it's Og is the player here for Ultra Gunner's team that's very comfortable on the hero. And
Why aren't you saying their team name?
oh, do not ever fucking question, because I always call them like Ultra Gunner team and then Dark team, for example. Like I always call them the player who's the captain's team.
Okay, that's
But
probably
yeah,
safer
we're talking
here.
about teams. Yeah,
it's pasta versus do not ever fucking question me. They don't understand the flag. Did we talk about the flags last time? I can't remember. You gotta double the width or whatever. It's like the image gets wrapped to the back.
Yeah, so, nobody ever gets the banners correct. But yeah, it is Blackout. Blackout is the 6th player for Ultra Gunner's team, for do not ever fucking questioning me. And he won RD2L last season, I believe, on Skater's team.
We can just call them Radiant and Dire. That's probably easier. Let's be
Yeah,
real.
I usually just call them either Radiant Dire or Dark Team, Ultra Gunner Team, whatever
I,
captain name team.
if they can't pick reasonable branding, come on, guys. Think of the branding. How are you supposed to get sponsored when your name's Poon Stars? Think about it.
Like I rarely go off team names. Sometimes I don't even know the actual team's team name. I just, like I said, I just go captain and name, and then I'm always thrown off when somebody else is drafting. Like Punani here, he's the drafter for Dark. He's also known, I think, in RD2L as one of the best drafters. So he makes some pretty good drafts. I mean, the draft's looking pretty solid so far for both sides. What do you think?
I think the Dire draft looks a little bit weird. The fact that I think it's not a big deal that they pick both supports early, in my opinion, and both are pretty effective. Right, Bane's good lane support, but neither of them pushes waves very well, and I feel like picking both right away is a little bit feels like they're kind of revealing all of their cards and letting all of the vulnerabilities potentially shine through. Like I don't think there's a lot of teams that pick both supports in the first phase anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, both of these heroes, they don't have a huge amount of games, but they have picked Bane 3 times with 100% success and Earth Spirit twice with 100% success. But the sample size is pretty small, so I don't know if it's worth picking both of your supports that early.
The Big Jug, very common hero to lane against Darkseer because you can always just use Blade Fury to spin and creep waves when they get a little out of hand with double Ion Shells. And you kind of look at that as like a mana trade that's favorable for Jug. So that pick makes a lot of sense. It's pretty good against Jakiro too, I'm sure. So yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I also, like I said, they do have their own comfort heroes and their own playstyles for each team, but we still see a lot of meta bans right now. If we're looking at the bans, we have like the Nakes, the Drow, the Nyx, Shaman, Oracle.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not more Dark targeted bans. So Dark is, like I said, he's a very good mid laner. I think his favorite heroes are like Queen of Pain. I know he has absolutely gone insane in the games I've seen him play Queen. I know he likes Ember Spirit. So I'm surprised we didn't see, we see a Sven ban instead of, prioritizing maybe taking 3 of his heroes out, because I know he likes the Lina too.
Yeah, the Sven ban's a bit interesting for sure. I don't know, maybe they have success with it or something like that. I could see it being kind of effective with Darkseer. Maybe not amazing, but decent. Spirit Breaker, that's a hero we don't see very often.
No, we don't. Meme strat, Darkseer Surge into Charge.
I mean, it's Darkseer or Spirit Breaker dual lane is the main thing. The Earth Spirit's already picked, so they needed to grab something else to combo with it. So I think that's why they grabbed the SB. Maybe that's what their thought was with the Sven ban as well, perhaps. But
I think they just want to charge at 1,000 move speed.
It's not going to be great. Oh, I guess it does. That should work, right?
It's good lockdown for Juggernaut too. At most stages of the game, you have spin piercing, ultimate, and the charge and bash chance.
But it's not a reliable initiation is the problem. I think some games like this, when you're playing a hero like Spirit Breaker that wants to roam, you look at the safe lane, you're like, well, that gank's not going to work. And you look mid, and if the mid laner is hard to kill too, then that's not going to work. And then you're like, okay, what do I do? I don't know what to do anymore.
And you're just walking around and slapping people with your insane HP and base damage, and but still the hero's not like you said, it's not a common pick, and I think there's a reason for that.
It is nice with Darkseer though. I think some of my favorite things that they do is just put an Ion Shell on him, teleport to a different lane, then charge. I really like those kinds of ganks. I think they're really, really powerful. If you've got a couple levels in Ion Shell.
Yeah, this Jakiro pick is interesting. They have a 50% success rate with it across 4 games, and I think the hero's he's fine like in the RD2L meta because he's a safe and kind of just easy to execute on 5. And I don't think it's that bad with Darkseer. You can set up the ice path first and then vacuum people into it, for example, and hold people down in wall and macro. So I kind of like the pick.
Do you want to turn on your open mic in game?
Sure.
I just thought to do that too. Somebody asked in chat, so.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I'm not used to people watching in client. What do you think of this LC pick though?
It seems a little weird. Yeah, it's definitely kind of weird. It's a very good lane trading hero by all means, but they don't even know who the hell the enemy cores are. Like right now, we actually don't know anything about the Radiant lineup other than that they're gonna have a Darkseer Spirit Breaker dual lane, and that Jakiro is gonna be the support to the other lane. The one nice thing about it though is that you can dispel off Dual Breath. That's pretty cool. So you can help offset some of that harass, but it does take a skill point to do that, and usually your first 2 go into your passive and overwhelming odds. So, we'll see.
Well, we're going to get some sort of information about the draft. Well, this makes a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It could go mid. It could go safe lane. Works with Ion Shell.
I don't think it'll be a mid. I mean, Dark may play it, but just from what I know about these players and what I've seen, I I don't think it really fits his play style. I'm almost positive it's going to be an Alk hero. I mean, I can actually just check if
Okay.
he plays Troll. I don't think I've seen him play Troll, but I'm more so thinking it's going to be an Alk hero, just because I haven't personally seen Dark play it, and it doesn't strike me as a Dark hero. Like I said, he likes the Quap, Ember, Lena type heroes. So Troll would be, I think, a little bit out of the norm for him.
Gotcha. And then there's the Ember ban, which makes a lot of sense. Very good combo with Iron
Yeah.
Shell. That was the first one I thought of when I was
Also one
thinking
of his
about
favorite
course.
heroes.
Yeah,
So.
would have worked pretty well. Wouldn't have been like incredible against Jug sometimes. It's actually pretty good against Jug, I guess, because Jug doesn't have lockdown. Yeah, the Legion pick looks okay. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, also, I wanted to point out, I don't know, I don't think we covered this at all, but because this is an EST versus PST game, so East Coast versus West Coast, to deal with the ping, I believe that teams pick, if you win the coin toss, you pick either priority or for
Server.
pick or side or server, yeah. And I think this is being played currently on West, so the ping should favor Ultra Gunner's team.
It's fine. Unless there's
It'll
like
be
EU
fine.
players or like C players or something. It
Well, EU
shouldn't
players
be.
have their own server, but I do think there have been a couple of EU transplants in
Yeah, that's what I figured. I don't think little like I'm in California. I can play East no problem. I barely notice it's like 30 ping chain difference. If I lived in like
yeah,
Seattle or something, maybe I would be picky. But
yeah, I get 30 ping East and like 90 West, but
okay, that's
I
kind of a big
still can.
difference.
You can still deal with it. I think it took me a couple games, but I think I have like 200 games played West with a relatively high win rate. You just kind of don't even notice the ping at a certain point until you switch back. But
Yeah,
I think it can be a little disorienting. Like if you're just an East player and you've
that's a
never
good
played
point.
West, and suddenly you're just like, whoa, wait a minute. I swear I timed that last hit or that spell or something. It's just like those seconds or microseconds of difference, in reaction.
Just got to be
Oh, and
ready.
yeah, this SF
Search two
ban
servers.
is just an Ultra Gunner ban.
Okay, there's the Queen of Pain that you were talking about. Pretty effective with Iron Shell actually. It can work out. Very
A little
mobile.
bit scared here now for Ultra Gunner. So the one thing is I think Dark's team, they heavily prioritize usually last pick. I think I've seen them have last pick almost every time they can, but this time around they don't have it. They still pick the Queen, which I still think it's a pretty safe Queen of Pain game.
It's not bad. I mean, she can get dueled, and Earthspirit can catch her as well. Bane also has options, so I would say it's not amazing, but it's certainly not bad. It's a bunch of burst damage too, which will help them potentially win Legion duels, that kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
they also have good ways of bailing her out of being controlled, like a grip. They have Vac, they have Ice Path, which is probably going to be the most reliable one. It's relatively long range. And they do
Yeah.
have control during the Legion duel, which is sometimes, when the Legion game gets hard, I feel it's because you don't have control for her. And I feel like they do have a good amount of control for this Legion commander.
Yeah. It'll be alright until she gets BKB. If she just goes like blink BKB, then she'll be fine.
What about Aghanim Scepter on Legion? I mean, if you're going to pick the hero, why not? It gives you spell immunity now, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, and increases the duration. I remember a long time ago, I think Zai said that it was one of the worst ags in the game because it
Really?
counters what it's supposed to do. Like what Duel's supposed to do. Duel's supposed to be like lock one guy down and kill him quick. So like if you're snowballing out of control, then yeah, the ags can work potentially, but otherwise it's not really worth getting. Because there's just other times where you'll duel, like if he duels Troll or something, and Troll just is always gonna be stronger, then
Yeah.
Legion could never win.
And you can't even help, right, during the duel, or did that get changed with
Correct. You could disable them. You could disable
can't
his
do
opponent, but you couldn't do damage. Yes.
Okay. So we got a Medusa last pick. What do you think about this matchup?
Oh, boring as hell. Am I right? Now Deuce has been really
You're
popular
right.
in the pro scene right now. She should be able to lane pretty well against Quap. Once she grabs her mana drain talent against like Darkseer, Quap, and Jakiro in fights, that would be pretty nasty against them. Like you can drain 50% of Quap's mana. It's actually insane.
The only thing I'm a little bit worried about is I almost feel like this plays into Dark's strength. So he likes these heroes, like I mentioned. He likes the Lena, the Ember, the Quap. Those are the big three that I can think of, that I have notes on and that I've seen him personally play. And these are all heroes that rotate well, and he has a good mindset for rotating when is the time to leave the lane and go gank, get the runes. He prioritizes runes a lot, and I feel like that just makes it easy because Medusa's never going to match your rotation, and I feel like if they can use that to their advantage and outpace the Dire, they may have an issue on their hands.
I would agree with you, but I think it's the other four heroes are pretty good at moving around and getting fights going. So I'm not too worried about Dusa getting out rotated. I think the bigger worry actually is just that between Queen of Pain and Spirit Breaker, I think they could potentially kill Dusa a couple times mid lane.
Yeah, that would be pretty disastrous.
Or at least burn a lot of her mana if she does end up getting dived. And because they're also going to have Iron Shells when they do this, it shouldn't be that hard. Although with Earth Spirit being in the game, he can obviously do rotations to try to help out. But I could see it working out. We must have a pause or something.
Who do you think has the draft advantage here between the Radiant and the Dire currently?
It's
just purely out of the drafting stage, nothing to do with the players. Who do you think's stronger?
It looks pretty good on both sides. Radiant team is missing a lot of disable compared to the Dire team. Like at first, I thought Dire team would be a little bit weak in terms of ganking, but between like Legion getting a blink or Bane finger using grip on people or Spirit initiating, their initiation's fine. And then on the other side, it's going to be like what Queen of Pain, Spirit Breaker charging in, and maybe like Ice Path. So it's a little bit harder for the Radiant team to take fights. Is one disadvantage they have.
I do think both teams have some pretty good team fight. At most stages of the game. The Darkseer is the one I absolutely love this hero personally. Like just
so
he gets like a. I know he's boring, but it's like there's something about you're about to lose a fight and then suddenly this little purple dude zooms in at like 900 move speed, pops like 7 auras, vacuums everyone into a wall, and now suddenly you're losing the team fight. And a wall illusion of Medusa could be devastating, I think.
That's very true, actually, yeah. Yeah, Wall of Replica against Dusa is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. With the Jug and the Dusa, they have some pretty strong wall illusions, and they can be controlled in the wall, I think, very well. Did you want to do player introductions real quick, just to give the players that made it to the finals?
Let's go for it. Do you wanna do them since you know the players better?
Sure, I'll take care of it. So for the Radiant, in the top lane we have Hunani on this Darkseer, Illidan, new player to RD2L, and already making it to the finals here on the Darkseer, going mid for them. It is going to be Dark, the captain, on signature Queen of Pain, and bottom lane for them, it looks like we're gonna have Alk here on the position 1 Troll Warlord, and Buttery Greg on the Jakiro. What a name. And we're just going to start here on the Dire off lane since we're already here. So we have Sharingan here on the position 4 Earth Spirit, going to be joined by Big Og here on the Legion Commander. Mid for them, it is going to be Ultra Gunner, the captain, on the Medusa. So we do have a captain versus captain mid matchup, so that's interesting. And top lane for them, we are going to have Chow Mains on the position 1 Juggernaut. And so I actually had to do some research on this. Apparently it's Poyas on the Bane. I could not figure out how to pronounce this guy's name for the longest time.
Okay, ooh, that's a good spin right there.
That is a very good spin.
That's a lot of damage. That's going to be a sell for Darkseer. It's unfortunate beginning moments. Last hit wise, we're a minute in. Nothing really special happening so far. But lots of regen being brought to the mid lane. Safe lane Jakiro Troll versus the Earth Spirit Legion. Should be fine on both sides. They're probably just going to farm. I don't really expect anybody to get kills right away.
Yeah, and I don't think either team has the easiest, I guess, rotations to make. Like, you have a Spirit Breaker on one side, and then on the flip side, you have an Earth Spirit. But I don't think either hero is going to have an easy time finding success with rotations.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Because I guess charging the Dusa is the scariest thing, but she should be relatively survivable. But once the Quap gets a couple levels, it'll be very different, I'm sure.
Yeah, we just have a little bit of harass here on the top lane. There is that Ion Shell on the Spirit Breaker. Puyas kind of standing still, bought a Quelling Blade. Yeah, he actually just bought a Quelling Blade. Oh.
It's like, this will save me, the Quelling.
So I'm kind of curious how that happened. I would think Legion Commander would have a pretty okay time surviving this lane.
She does have press the attack, but I don't know. Got killed. Do not know.
That extra move speed. She was near a camp too. Maybe she was contesting that absurd Radiant pull. Buttery Greg is getting gone on here in the bottom lane though. Alk walks in, gets the spin. Now Sharingan in trouble. They do use the press the attack, so he will be fine.
Someone eat that tree. It's a fancy tree.
Did he plant it?
He did, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Feel bad.
It's between a bunch of other trees. I don't think anyone noticed it.
Oh, he's missing so much health too, man. That must feel so bad to not have a Tango in that moment. When you're all fine. Rough stuff. 2 points on Dagger for Queen of Pain. That's kind of what I expected. Just going to be harassing the Queen a lot. Or the Deuce a lot, because he can't really do anything to stop it other than drain his mana. But pretty even last hits right now.
Yeah, they're looking okay. I think, you know, if we get a charge, maybe when Queen hits level 4 and Spirit Breaker has 3, they could set the Medusa behind a bit, maybe try to force her into the jungle a bit earlier.
That man just nightmared a range creep.
Poyas? Oh, that's unfortunate. Poyas, actually, the last time I saw him play this hero, he was playing out of his mind on the Bane. Like, the positioning, I don't think he ever got a grip canceled early. There was some insane play out of this guy, so...
He's out of his mind so far.
Yeah, you know, everyone has some hiccups. I think he's one of the lower MMR players. Like, let me actually check here.
It's just one of those moments where you're like, this is going to be a good idea. And it was like kind of okay because he was like denying it or whatever while it was nightmared. But that's a lot of mana, man. A lot of damage being done to Spirit Breaker here.
Chow Main's just manning up. And we still haven't seen a rotation from either 4. Almost 4 minutes into the game. I mean, I think both of these heroes are fine to rotate at like 2 or 3.
Yeah, that's definitely something that looked a little bit weird about the beginning of the laning stage, the fact that they're all still together, because certainly, I mean, I don't think they're going to kill the Quap, but you can roll into the lane, I think, potentially. Ooh, this looks like a dead Legion, maybe. Maybe he'll eat a Tango, finally. He's been sitting here at half HP. No, can't eat Tangos. Gotta save those. Alright, he's actually... Eat your damn Tango, dude. He's missing 800 HP. Chomp down. Alright, he's not gonna... I need to look somewhere else. This is stressing me out too much. 3 points of dagger now on Quap.
I think that's expected against the Medusa. Really, yeah. I mean, either she takes the damage or she loses a lot of that mana shield, which is only level 1. So it's not, you know, really mitigating all that much.
Yeah, it's definitely not something you want to turn on usually, for the most part. But if he gets good snakes off, it's going to be okay. Top lane level 3.
Are coming up soon.
Got a charge coming top. Ooh, unfortunately, he did not charge from the fountain or something. Server ward is going to spot him coming though. Bounty rune's looking about 2 and 2-ish. We'll see what happens here at this bounty rune.
Yeah, he doesn't have charge, so he can't actually do anything. And Poyas doesn't have Nightmare, so he can't hold Spirit Breaker down. I think he's just hoping for a greater bash right now before using his charge, but he's going to be forced to charge.
He got it.
Yeah, he got it.
Good for him. Absolutely. He can maybe get this gun. He's going to have a sap. Actually, yeah. With Surge and Iron Shell, absolutely he can get a kill. He kind of needed Nightmare there, actually, to stay alive.
He might have
but
just waited that. And he gets bashed down.
I don't blame him, though. I don't think he expected Darkseer to show up is what happened. I mean, I guess the ward might have spotted it, but, you know, when you get in the action, I don't usually pay attention to stuff like that myself.
Yeah, you can it's really easy to tunnel vision in this game.
Yeah. Once again, Legion
so Og is actually in trouble. The roll in from Sharingan completely misses the boulder smash though, so both Og and Buttery Greg kind of survive with a little bit of health.
Greg is he's just outplaying them. That's all there is to it. 2 points in Dual Breath, 2 points in Liquid Fire. A little bit atypical here. Looks like the first chase on Medusa has begun. But it's all going to be for nothing.
There's a little bit of a move there into the jungle, but they weren't able to complete that kill. He actually just goes to the bottom side of this little triangle here for Dire.
Don't know if I like that. I guess using the shrine is fine and all, but he's not quite ready to jungle, I don't think, with only 2 Wraith Bands and 2 points in Split Shot. Could be faster. Like, I'd rather he goes back mid, I guess, but maybe that's not worth it because Quap is just strong grid harassment. I'm not sure. I don't play Dusa.
I think showing in lane at this point against a level 6 Quap and 3 Spirit Breaker might just be a little suicidal because I think at this point you just actually die since he only has 1 point in the mana shield.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Even if he doesn't die, he loses a ton of mana and then loses time anyways. But I don't know, if we look at the net worth in comparison, it's yeah, she's pretty darn far behind already, 2,200 gold versus the 28 of what Queen of Pain's working with. So tough either way.
Yeah, in the top lane, it looks like the Darkseer was thinking about cutting the wave, but Bane, unfortunately, is a very hard hero to cut waves against. He kind of messed that up, though, using the Nightmare early, since Nightmare will just de-aggro the creeps. If, you know, somebody tries to go and cut your wave, you just Nightmare them and then save your lane equilibrium, but used it a little early, so now he's actually going to give up a few creeps.
Spirit Breaker messing with the Medusa. That's got to be frustrating. He's not getting great farm, and he gets bullied out of it anyways.
Well, the one good thing here for Ultra Gunner's team is if you're looking purely at a position one versus position one matchup, I think Chow Mains is having a little bit of a better time than Alk right now, just purely based off of the CS and the XP. He's 48 and 16 on this jug, level 6, and then Alk hasn't. He's halfway to level 6, and quite a bit of CS behind.
Spirit Breaker just super bullying here. All
He's
the lanes
doing exactly what he needs to.
lanes are all pretty passive so far, though. I feel like Legion is playing this lane a little bit too passively. Is kind of my impression here. Like, they got press the attack or whatever, but I just feel like he might have been able to fight better, but maybe not against Troll as the deal breaker because of the mischance.
Yeah, there is a charge down here. A lot of okay, they just immediately use the Sonic Wave, but Sharingan, he's just gonna roll away. And is it worth bringing that many heroes bottom for a Legion commander kill?
Yeah, I'm not sure. The Sonic Wave is probably overkill without a doubt. He definitely didn't need to use that. Throws a dagger. If he's gonna be slowed, they would have been fine. But oh well. Maybe it works out. Another blink coming mid.
He also used his bottle DD there, but now they're going on Ultra Gunner here in the mid lane. The Medusa getting walked down, has already run out of mana, so that mana shield is doing nothing. Gets killed, so that DD dagger, or that DD rune paying dividends right now. The Nightmare comes out. Those are two uphill misses. Blinks up, gets the double kill with the last hit there.
This is not looking good for the Dire team now, and he instantly buys the Midas recipe. I mean, that's a pretty good minute or so for him, so I don't blame him. It's complete free farm in his lane, gotten a couple kill rotations here. He's got all the early items he needs now. He can just go greedy.
There's a charge here on Poyas, this Bane. He doesn't have the mana for Nightmare, does have a stick. Again, using the Brain Sap instead of the Nightmare may actually give... Nope, he's fine.
Legion running all the way over. This is a mistake for sure. It's one of those moments where you got to stay in your lane and keep getting farm, because even if you do move over, it might not be likely to help.
Yeah, and he's doing pretty good in this lane overall against the Troll Warlord. At least surprisingly better than the Darkseer. Darkseer's actually having a bit of a tougher time. There's a bit of a fight going on here in the bottom runes. It's 3 versus 3 Alk. He runs in on this Troll Warlord, uses those whirling axes, gets an easy kill on the Bane. And I'm not sure who got the bounty there. I think
it was Earthspirit.
Yes.
Yeah. He got it. Good for him. 2k gold advantage now for the Radiant team. First Midas just got used, so it's only going to get a little bit worse as time goes on. But on the bright side, she's almost out of item slots. Yeah,
there we go.
Downside of
yeah, he's got the infused raindrops to just burn, I guess.
It's true. Regen will help too. Lane wise, Troll Warlord is in a really good spot. Juggernaut also has quite a few last hits himself. Pretty much Jug sitting in the same farm level as Quap. Actually, I'm surprised they're so close in terms of net worth. It's been interesting.
Well, we got an Omni Slash here on Darkseer, but a little bit of a strange one. He was already surging. They do have the Nightmare. They have the spin available. They may actually be able to get this kill on the Darkseer. The spin will finish him off. I think it's worth it in the end.
I didn't trust it at all. I thought the Omni Slash was going to be a little bit wasted there. Early Jug Omnis are generally not very effective, but it was enough. He's got a little attack speed with his phase boots, so it worked out fine. He'll go early drum.
Bane was there, so at least he helped out with the Nightmare now. Punani getting Nightmared, so Spirit Breaker, I don't think they can even attempt the kill on him. He's just going to actually charge out.
Yeah, that's true. I was like, oh, they can definitely kill him. Now charge would have saved him for sure. So, still more jungling for Medusa. Treads, max split shot, just AFK jungling, but it's going to take so long for her to catch up.
This most free time she's had, but Spirit Breaker's already here. He does have a ward in his inventory. They may try for something. The Ice Path, it does connect on this Juggernaut. Drops the healing ward. The wall is dropped. They pick up the kill here on Chow Mains. Kill the healing ward as well. There is a rotation from the Earth Spirit Legion commander coming in as well. Medusa already low on mana. The roll in from the ES, and now Dark shows up a huge Sonic Wave. I think that connected on 4. And now Spirit Breaker very low on HP, but still running in. The duel is going to give up the first duel victory of the game at the same time. Queen of Pain picking up a double kill for herself.
That was a really good time for her to show up. It kind of looked good what Dusa was doing. Like, she wasn't very survivable. If anything, I maybe wish that she had a point in Stone Gaze instead of a second point in Mana Shield. I think that might have been really valuable, perhaps. Because she was doing okay damage. It's just got bursted down. Just took a little bit too much. I feel like Stone Gaze would have offset that a bit. So 3k gold advantage now for the Radiant team. Dire is Legion is actually jungling here. I think this is one of the things that really hurts Legion is when, like, he's gotten quite a few last hits in his lane, but he's also not contesting it. It's kind of the purpose of picking the hero, in my opinion. Because otherwise there's just better offlane heroes, almost always.
Yeah, I think there may be a kill here on this Jakiro, though. The spin starts. They do have the surge, but he decides to turn around and throw an ice path, and that basically seals his fate. I think he would have been fine if he had kept running.
Pretty easy kill. Don't see too many drum purchases on Jug lately, in my opinion. Maybe that's wrong, but
I've just been seeing the drums on like every hero at this point. I didn't play for a bit, maybe like a month, and then I came back and I was just seeing drums on everyone. I'm like, what happened? This item, I guess is it like the new Aquila or something since Aquila's gone?
Not really. Like I don't see it that often. Like it's a sometimes thing. Like you'll definitely see it on like Ember Spirits in the mid lane, for example.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
if people want stats these days, honestly, like pros especially, most of the time they're buying like Atos, even on like heroes that typically you wouldn't expect it on. So I kind of it's very common on Doom, obviously, but that's always been a staple, you know. So yeah, it's a sometimes thing for sure.
I think ever since they changed Atos to have the double crowns, it almost just feels like you can buy it on literally any one item.
Yeah, I mean crowns are just ridiculously good, really. I mean you're getting 4 to all stats for less than a bracer. It's basically like the same amount of stats.
Oh, Bane. And this
got the one.
Here, he's nightmared himself. Doesn't use the brain sap.
It was a good try.
I think he would have been dead anyway.
Just the best ward ever was there to spot him. So that's why he died.
Wow.
Yeah.
That just barely gives vision in there.
Legion heading back to lane here, but Troll is moderately farmed here. Not quite as insanely far ahead as I maybe would have expected at this point, but he's just a little bit behind Jug, but he's not getting as many kills, I guess.
I think the main problem here, just, you know, you look at Troll, you look at Jug, they're okay or within 500 gold of each other, not the biggest net worth, but then you look at this Medusa and this Queen of Pain, and you can see that they have a big problem on their hands.
I'm not too worried about the Medusa. Oh wait, are you saying comparing Medusa's farm to Quap's farm?
To Queen of Pain,
that's why, yeah,
like
that's true.
3,500 gold difference right now. There's an Omni Slash here on the Jakiro. There was a Panic Smoke use. He's actually just going to TP away.
I definitely would have gone for the kill and then died immediately afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking, I'm like, he could have totally killed that Jakiro at the cost of his own life. It seems worth it.
That took a lot of patience. It's actually pretty rough for him, losing Omni Slash and not getting a kill like that. The cooldown is massively long.
On Medusa, Bane is here. They're in position. They have the grip. They use the grip. They have the duel as well. He's going to use it for an easy duel win. The Ice Path not early enough. Dark going to be able to blink away to safety on this Queen of Pain. But now Alk has joined the fight on the Troll Warlord. It looks like he's going to second guess himself. Gets Nightmared up. And I guess that's it for that engagement.
It's a decent bulldoze there. They basically threw all of their disable on him. What's the second duel? Who was the first duel? I must have missed that one.
The first duel was also on Spear Breaker.
Okay.
It was here in this top lane. He basically dueled a Spear Breaker that had like 20 HP. But hey, a duel win's a duel win. That's, you know, helps the hero snowball.
He's not really lane pressuring though. I think that's my biggest criticism of him. Is that I wish that he was sitting in the lane against Troll Warlord and trying to offset his farm and deny some of his farm. So lane creeps are just so much more gold than experience, obviously. Another charge here. This one on Medusa again.
Yeah, they're really holding her down. They use the ultimate there. Sonic Wave committed as well. An Ice Path, why not? They bring Ultra Gunner down again. They're really pressuring this Medusa. They are playing this very well. Yeah,
the ward that's there is going to get dewarded for sure, but it's pretty obvious that they had vision of him, but the pressure is pretty straightforward. She doesn't have her ultimate just yet, which is a little bit weird. I would say it's definitely weird. And also, she hasn't maxed out Snake yet, but it's probably really hard to not have to justify getting more mana shield levels, because the typical Dusa game, they don't have these lane disadvantages.
Yeah, I think Bane is dead as well. He was making, you know, an excursion here into the Radiant jungle. Did get this deep ward. I'm not sure if he just placed it, because it has been up for about 50 seconds, it seems. But yeah, that's, you know, cost him his life, and they may now know, you know, they may not know exactly where it is. It is not in a very usual spot, I would say, but hopefully it doesn't get dewarded. It might pay off, you know, in a couple minutes when they want to make a bit of a jungle rotation.
Well, Orchid's almost ready here for Queen of Pain. We'll see if that our team goes for dewarding stuff. The other thing that's really hurting them is the Legion still does not have her Blink Dagger. And as a result, that means that she's just basically AFK jungling and not able to set tempo herself on the map. It's definitely
I think a big part of that was what you pointed out before, how she was leaving the lane a lot, hitting neutrals instead of pressuring the lane. You obviously don't get that much gold from neutrals compared to the lane, so definitely set her timing back. There is a charge here on the Juggernaut. They don't have the Nether Strike, so they have no way to cancel that spin, and it looks like a canceled TP was used there.
Interesting.
It was from Earth Spirit, I just checked. Yeah, so
Okay.
Earth Spirit, I guess, thought about rotating and then didn't.
And the farm continues. Dusa at 6k now, a little bit ahead Darkseer, but big gold advantage for the Radiant team. Orchid's ready on Quap as well, so gonna be hard to take these fights and defend them, but they still have pretty good teamfight heroes between like Earth Spirit and having Grip potentially.
Oh, okay, so Darkseer, he runs in, gets Grip. The Grip immediately canceled with the Ice Path. They use the Nether Strike as well. That's a lot of spells there. I mean, I guess the Nether Strike's not the biggest committal, that they do pick up the kill on the Bane again. He seems to be the sacrifice currently, 0 and 6 on this Bane for Puyas.
Just seems like one of those situations where he's misreading the fights a little bit, that if they don't have good vision in their jungle, and there's a Darkseer that deep, it's bad.
They have the charge in. Bulldoze gets used. Yes, he runs in. He's not able to get the ult off in the Sonic Wave. It's huge. Sharingan falls as well.
It was all that Ice Path. That was a huge one. It caught him as he went into go Omni Slash or spin, and it set up enough disable that the kill was easy. He was anticipating the Orchid ending and everything being fine, but it didn't work out.
Poor Legion Commander. All she can do is throw out a limp overwhelming odds and walk back or risk dying.
She has finished her Blink Dagger, but again, just too much jungling is the problem. If you're jungling to finish your Blink, it's going to be slow, for sure.
Yeah, 20 minutes, you know, just got the Blink Dagger, 20 duel victory. Not, you know, at least you're not sitting at 25 minutes with no duel victories, but you could definitely have a bit of a bigger impact, which is kind of disappointing because Og has played some very impressive offlane games from the games I've seen him play.
Probably just scared of the Troll Warlord or something like that, or maybe it's like one of those things where it gets in your head about getting charged, so you just play more defensive as a result. Look at this Radiant Ward vision; it's actually so good.
I think the Radiant draft is all about mind games. You have the Spirit Breaker, you get a few successful charges, and suddenly everyone's terrified of being anywhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, this Radiant coverage you were talking about is actually insane.
Yeah, they can see everything basically. Dire team is scared.
Fresh wards.
Might get some D wards here. No, that one's not going to spot actually. Spirit Breaker still putting his eyeballs on enemy heroes.
Oh, the tips. There's almost a Manta for Medusa. How much does that change things, though?
Not
she's
much.
Still pretty weak, 900 health. I mean, she's going to pop Manta, and they'll essentially just die to AoE in a matter of a second or two.
Yeah, the biggest thing that it does do is that it does give her a way to get out of Orchid. So if the initiation is like a Blink Orchid, then she can still get her ulti off. That part's okay. Don't like this Stone Gaze level 2 pickup. Not a fan.
Immediately canceled.
Needs to max out his Snake a little bit faster, I think, over getting a second point in Stone Gaze.
I thought it was a little bit strange that he kind of, I guess, knew that he would have to jungle earlier than he'd want. Oh, I did not even notice that happening.
It's fine, nor did I.
It just suddenly Roche is dead, but yeah, I was noticing the points in a split shot over the Mystic Snake, and I would think if you're able to land a level 3 Mystic Snake in a lane against Quap, you would be in an okay position. Should lose the ability to spam dagger as much, but he chose to prioritize split shot and just kind of committed that jungle life, which I think almost played into the plan of the Radiant to hunt you.
Yeah,
know
especially
exactly where you're gonna be.
Especially because the Legion was behind as well. It was just kind of the same issue here. They're gonna try to slow down this push though. It's just gonna be hard.
They are charging in. They have the Nether Strike, looking for a good vac here. The vac's only on 1, but it looks like it's enough. They find the Juggernaut, immediately forced to buy back. Greaves are popped. Boulder Smash only connects on 1. The Omni Slash used with a duel. Can they get the kill here on the Darkseer? They do get the duel victory as well. Now the spin, but a big Sonic Wave coming in from Dark. He blinks in, but he immediately gets gripped under the tower. He has the Aegis. Can they get this kill? He finally goes down. Juggernaut, that's a dieback for the Jug. A Nightmare comes out on the Troll Warlord, but it's not going to be enough. The respawn there from the Queen of Pain secures the kill on this Bane as well.
What a nice Snake. Well, they are going to back. Oh, never mind.
Oh,
Manta. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Pops the Manta. Nice. Ice Path. I think connects on one, and Alki uses the ultimate here on the Troll Warlord. Stone Gaze gonna hold him in place for a little bit. That's actually, they're walking him into the base, but he has a good amount of health. Nightmare comes out onto Jakiro, but I'm doubting whether they can get any kills here.
I think they could have gotten the Troll if Bane had committed there, but...
You know, they roll in on the ES, they kick back. Poor buttery Greg, gonna go down, gives up another duel. So that fight was so long. I think he had two duel victories?
It was, yeah. That was
during
finally
one
off
team
cooldown. Yeah, it worked out. That was a buyback for a Jug and a dieback, actually.
Dieback, yeah.
He did not have a great time. His Omni Slash was just okay, too. The damage was pretty underwhelming. I don't know if he popped the drum charge during his Omni or not, but yeah, I mean, he was like slashing on the Darkseer, but Darkseer just didn't even die that quickly. It was a little pathetic, I must say. The initiations were good. The Deuce ulti was solid as well, but just hard for them. They do hold, though. The tower's alive. It's pretty healthy. But they're behind by 13k, and Quap is probably finished an item from that team fight as a result. Just tons of gold.
Sphere is coming up very soon. He just needs the recipe, and I don't think he even needs to be worried. You know, sometimes it's, do I get this or do I hold buyback? I don't think at this point he needs to worry about buyback.
I always have the same answer to that question anyways. Just buy. I like.
Critical point in the game. Do I say buyback? Nah.
Never do that.
Never.
It's more fun to have more items. Everyone knows that.
Yeah, another thing, Troll Warlord went for the Diffusal Blade, so makes the Troll actually quite good against the Medusa. We saw it used there for a little bit. She popped her head out of the high ground for a second, then suddenly she was slowed, had to use that Manta.
Yeah, I mean, it's 50 mana per attack. It's pretty huge, actually. And does and does so much more against Mana Shield, and attacks fast, yeah. It's definitely pretty interesting. It's a good idea. It's not really super effective against the rest of the heroes. It's really not that big of a deal, but is that a duel? That's a duel.
There's a duel, and they kill him fast enough. It looks like they may actually not have the damage. No, they do just in time, but they have completed the charge. Juggernaut, though, he's Orchided. He has no way to remove the Orchid, and he goes down again without buyback. Is this high ground for the Radiant, you think?
It definitely looks like it. I mean, 40 seconds. Did they even lose anything? Not really. Sonic Wave is still ready. They used Wall of Replica. That was the big thing. But
now another charge in. Looks a bit aggressive. They back 2 in, but now they're starting to get low here. Grip comes out. Spirit Breaker, he goes down. Manta style, not really doing all that much, but they're going to keep dropping stones, doing a little bit more damage to this Darkseer. They continue the chase, but they don't want to chase up the high ground, it seems.
Yeah, it's too scary. Well, it was definitely a bit deep. Looked kind of okay for the SB, but they have enough disables where they can definitely clean things up if they get a little bit too deep. Jug really needs like a Manta style though, like super bad, and he queued it up.
This Orchid.
But he's only got 700 gold. It's actually such a dangerous position to be in. This is one of the problems of the drum. I mean, you're spending 1600 gold on an item that more or less could be a Yasha with just a little bit more gold. And it gives you equal movement speed. It doesn't give you any mana regen to have Yasha, but overall attack speed wise, you're way better off. So I'm sure about the drum purchase in this game. But maybe it's just because Quap is so far ahead that it really is rough so far.
Oh, there's another Blink Silence. They roll in completely off the mark. The Ice Path is going to connect. They throw a dagger out. He should be able to roll away. Alk, he was in position to cut him off. Gets nightmared by this Bane. So Troll Warlord going to be controlled. They do have another strike. They use it here on the Legion Commander. She gets bashed again through the charge. Healing Ward not going to be able to do enough. And Big Og goes down.
Just seems like a very commanding game for Queen of Pain. Like, feels like she's not really vulnerable in any way here. She can just do whatever she wants. Her allies, all they need is like SB to run in and do something, create a little bit of action, and they're gonna react, but they can't do it very well because they're behind. 16K.
Yeah, now they have a completed Crimson on Darkseer as well. I think before he only had the Greaves, and now they have the Greaves plus Crimson. They are going for the high ground again, though.
Pretty easy range perks.
Now, there's a charge on Ultra Gunner. He pops the Manta. Immediate buyback from the Legion Commander. An Ice Path is thrown defensively. Alki gets slowed down. They've already used the Surge. And the Blink in, but he's able to get the Battle Trance off. This is an absolute disaster for the Legion Commander. The immediate buyback, a big Sonic Wave here from the Queen of Pain. They get vacuumed back. Doesn't pull them into the wall, but I don't think it matters. Now the Orchid, the Dagger, they blink in. They're chasing Ultra Gunner down. A triple kill for Alk. And game 1 ends in under 30 minutes.
Jeez.
Favoring Dark's team.
Very one-sided game. And the kind of the crazy thing is they got to pick the Medusa. They thought it was going to be okay in the mid lane, but it really was not. got completely outlaned, was forced to jungle. Spirit Breaker did a nice job zoning in, but let's be real, she was going to be behind no matter what.
Yeah.
And then the other lanes just went better by Radiant Heroes. They stayed in their lanes. They got last hits in the creep waves, and they transitioned into pressuring, whereas the Dire team just couldn't do that because it took them 20 minutes to get the blink on Legion, and that was like the only hero that could start things other than Earth Spirit. So,
I don't think they had like I said, I don't think the Earth Spirit had a great time. Somehow Spirit Breaker just, I think you have an easier time rotating on a hero like Medusa where you just know exactly where he's going to be when he's not in the lane.
Yeah, it definitely helps a little. But either way, I think Spirit Breaker could have done more, like you said, rotate out of lanes, go top once, try to help. Like imagine if Bane gets a little bit of experience or a little bit of gold top, gets boots of speed, then can turn that into other ganks better. Maybe it makes a difference, But
Yeah, and
I don't know.
that's an interesting thing too that I was a little bit confused by was their decision to start the Earth Spirit bottom. I'm not sure, how it's generally played, but at least in the games where I see people, that still pick Earth Spirit tend to be good Earth Spirit players. They usually will start in the safe lane and just get an easy level 1 kill or, stick around maybe if it's successful, get 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.